Emu finally revealed his powers. We finally got the One Piece chapter 1150 spoiler. The title of the upcoming chapter is Domi Reversi. The first information in the spoiler is that Emu or Gunko unleashes a massive Conqueror's haki wave on Elbaf that knocks out some giants and the kids. Now, this is very big information because we all know how physically strong the giants are. They aren't like other races where you can clearly see some weaknesses. They are inborn and literally strong by nature. So the fact that Emu's haki was able to knock out some of the giants clearly shows how powerful his Conqueror's haki is. The next information in the spoiler is that Dory, Bragi, and the giant pirates attack Emu, but Emu uses a magic book to summon knives and guns. Then, Emu stabs and shoots one of Bragi's arms. And since Elbaf currently has no king, Emu says Dory and Bragi must be the new kings. Then Emu uses a technique called Devil's Contract and transforms Dory and Bragi into demons with great strength and immortality in exchange for a small portion of their lifespan. Based on this information, we can now connect the idea regarding the abilities of the five elders. Actually, it seems like this upcoming chapter reveals how the five elders got their powers. And that's through Emu's technique called the Devil's Contract. As the word suggests, a contract, meaning the regeneration powers of the five elders and their transformation into yokai forms are all granted by Emu. In other words, once Emu decides to break the contract, they can easily take back whatever lifespan was traded in exchange for the power-up. Let's use Saint J. Garcia Saturn as an example, because Emu gave him immortality so that he could remain in the world longer, or simply, to become immortal. But during the time that he failed to defeat Luffy on Egghead Island, or he was defeated by the Straw Hat Pirates, Emu immediately took back his life or broke the contract with Saint Saturn. Hopefully, in the full chapter, Oda explains all this more deeply, because this could open the gateway for us to truly understand what kind of powers Im-sama really possesses. Because if we just read this information from the spoilers, we can already assume that Emu is not a devil fruit user, since there's a book related to the attacks he used, and they can grant power-ups to individuals, and even possess people. So based on just this description, we can already conclude that Emu's power doesn't come from a devil fruit, but rather comes from a book. So hopefully, Oda can explain this more in the full chapter. Anyways, the chapter ends with Emu commanding a demon army that includes giants who have transformed into giant devils, plus dream monsters, to kill Gerald. We can also see that the demon giants are now about the size of oars, meaning they're already as huge as those nightmare monsters. So why is Gerald the one that Emu is targeting? It's because he is the leader of Elbaf. Emu probably figured out that Bragi and Dory are not the real leaders of Elbaf, so he targeted Gerald. Another possibility is that Gerald is the oldest of all the giants, and because of that, he might know a secret about Emu. Since he is the oldest, it's very likely that he knows a lot about the world's hidden history. Anyways, that's all for this One Piece chapter 1150 spoiler. Also, no break next week, so we'll be getting a new chapter. Thank you guys for watching.